Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with another brew for the Guilds of Ravnica Standard. I thought I'd take a look back at the Pirates archetype. Now, I'm not using Admiral Menopause in this list or Red. I think there is some merit into going over into Red. When we get the better mana, we can get the Rakdos mana, and I think it's actually very viable. You do actually have the Unclaimed Territory that can name pirates that could help bridge this gap, but a lot of the red you want is going to be from spells, so I don't know if that's the best route to go. And I don't know if the Admiral Beckett Brass is also playable right now in the format with lightning strikes everywhere and a lot of removal that just takes care of a 4-drop very easily. So this is getting inspiration as well from the Mono Blue Tempo list. So this is also a Tempo deck that is based around the pirates. And so far, so good. Haven't lost a game with this deck. I've only played 4, and in the quick queue against all Golgari and mono green decks. I don't know what's up with that. It must be the flavor of the day today. But it does extremely well against Golgari. Different flavors of Golgari. Most of them were kind of the Fine Finality version. And one mono green, which with some good essence scatters and some Thief of Sanity is actually stealing my opponent's big creatures. I was able to take those games down, no problem. So anyway, let's just go down the list. This is definitely going to be updated as we figure out what cards need to go in here and what cards we can cut. This is going to be, of course, going off the Curious Obsession, not going to run the Unblockable Merfolk. Our 1-drops instead are going to be the Deadeye Tracker and the Siren Stormtamer. So the Deadeye Tracker is pretty good against like Phoenix decks. It's pretty good against the control list as you're exiling 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard. So it's like Chemister's Insight type cards or Arclight Phoenixes. There tends to be a lot of decks, even Fine Finality decks, that want key cards in the graveyard. Deadeye Tracker just shuts down the Golgari Fine Broker, for example. And it's really just in here as a 1-drop you can throw down and then hook up to a Curious Obsession, or it just gets bigger. It's the perfect tempo card. This is a great tempo. It's a 1-drop that has an upside that you can keep using, and it can actually be a finisher if the game goes long enough. So Siren Stormtamer, of course, is one of the best cards in the deck, a 1/1 flyer for 1 that also has 1 sacrifice hit to counter target spell or ability that targets a creature control, so you can protect your bigger creatures or your more important creatures as they come down. This, though, is still one of the better Curious Obsession targets, as it's just an evasive 1/1 flyer and can start getting you that card advantage. So Curious Obsession, of course, is a very popular card. It gives +1/+1, and when the creature deals combat damage to player, you can draw a card. If you don't attack, though, you have to sacrifice a Curious Obsession. So you want to hook it up and protect whatever you put down. That is kind of the definition of tempo. So we're going to protect our creature with Dive Down. Target creature you control gets +0/+0 and gains hexproof until end of turn, and as well as spell pierces. You counter target non-creature spell unless the controller plays 2. Now, this is a little bit of a liability in today's meta, as there are a bunch of what I call creature-only exclusive decks. But it does work against Legion Landing and History of Benalia, against those decks that I kind of lump into the creature-only, no spells decks. It's pretty good versus red, too, when they try to lightning strike something, or Experimental Frenzy or Treasure Map, though it's great on curve way to counter those. And of course, it's really good versus the vast variety of other decks that are trying to deal with their tempo. I'm not quite certain if this wants to be in the side or if it wants to be in the main at the moment, but for right now, I do have it in the main. Of course, it's going to be pretty dead versus mono green. Some of them do run some fight cards and things like that, but I'm still kind of bored. With the Pro Tour showing and then Arena adjusting on week 1 after the Pro Tour, it really looks like what I call Sam Stoddard Standard. If you don't know who Sam Stoddard is, he is one of the main designers over at Wizards of the Coast, who has a philosophy of autistically smashing creatures into each other. Now, I use that term because it actually makes sense here. It's out of focus, no interaction, just focused on turning your creature sideways, smash, 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 until one person overwhelms the other. I've always been very critical of Sam Stoddard. I think that Sam Stoddard needs to tone it down with pushing creatures. We know we have cards like the Steeloo Champion and the Nullhide Ferox, and even cards that I would think that they were printed in, yesteryears, like Nicol Bolas, a 4/4 flyer for 4. Wow, that's pretty potent. That's pretty potent with an upside and be able to turn into a Planeswalker. A bunch of these creatures are very, very pushed at the moment, and it leads to very just non-interactive games as far as establishing a threat, turning them sideways, and it feels a lot of times, and I know this can be a very typical complete out Magic. It just really feels who outdraws the other person when you have those type of mirror matchups of crushing creatures into each other. So when I can play a spell-based deck, especially a tempo-based deck, that really feels like playing Magic to me. One of my favorite times of playing Magic in the history of my channel and the history of playing the game was the early days of Modern, what I like to call the good old days between when I used to play Soul Sisters versus Jeskai and Jund. Nowadays, both Jund and Jeskai, the spells have just got too good to have Soul Sisters compete with them, but back in that day, it was a really tick-for-tat type format. I establish a creature, you kill the creature, I establish a creature, and there are a lot of ways to bait out good removal spells for less key cards, and that's what I think what gave me the advantage over the vast majority of Soul Sisters players is I really knew how to pilot against those heavy control Junds and Jeskai decks, and it really felt like I was outplaying, and the skill had something to do with my success in Magic. However, this day and age of Standard, I even saw the Pro Tour. Yeah, we did see a bluff by LSV, but all in all, I wasn't very impressed with the gameplay with these type of decks. So this is this deck that definitely has a ton of decisions, and so I love playing these type of decks that I have to outplay my opponent or I'm just going to lose. And so again, this is a lot of decisions being made with when to cast these spells, what threats to counter, and what course of action to go from there. One of the reasons why I like Block Constructed, it's actually if you go back to one of my last videos, it ran a Jeskai control list. Is that felt very similar. I actually think the Jeskai control is a little bit weaker than a lot of the decks are out there, but in a capable hands, in a strong player, you know when to use certain removal spells and just not shoot them off on any old threat. And so Boros would oftentimes go 1 and 2 drop, and I would just hold back my cards and wait and kill those key cards, and then the Boros deck seems pretty bad after that. And so I had a phenomenal win streak, had 3 5-0 finishes, a ton of 5-1 finishes, and the only matchups that tended to drop were just those ones where variance gets you. So anyway, we'll talk about that. You can go check those videos. I wish I would have done a full video series of that Jeskai control. It's rotating out, though, in a couple hours, or I believe less than a day now, and so it's kind of a dead format, dead meme now at this point. Anyway, back to this deck list now that I've rambled forever. Let's go back down. We have Chart of Course. Chart of Course, of course, works very well off the Siren Stormtamer or the Deadeye Tracker. It's one of the more powerful cards in Standard at the moment. 2 mana to draw 2 cards if you attack the creature. If not, you can loot away a card that is not relevant, and it just keeps you up in that card advantage. We're going to have the control split in the 2-drop of 2 Essence Scatter, 2 Cast Downs. We do need to deal with cards that come down before an Essence Scatter, like a Wild Growth Walker can be very, very annoying, or anything at the 2-drop slot from the Boros decks, or I'd even say that at this point you can kill Steel Leaf Champions if they came out a turn early, and that's a good place to be in if you can get rid of the Steel Leaf and then start the tempo. I'm testing out 2 cards here, Fathom Fleet Captain and Ruin Raider. These are both of the cards to help you get ahead. The Fathom Fleet Captain, whenever you attack with another non-token pirate, you can pay 2 to put out a 2/2. It's going to be our way to continue to increase our kind of army. It also has Menace, so it's not a bad place to put Curious Obsession. There were a lot of pirates I was trying to figure out, wanted my creature count up a little more, and this is where I thought there was the best 2 options, was Ruin Raider and Fathom Fleet Captain. I'm actually not even that impressed with Ruin Raider with the pirate aspect to it. I almost would like the Zombie Knight, the one that whenever a creature dies, draw a card. But that's another card I'll have to test in the sideboard. It's definitely something in the metagame dependent. If they're killing a lot of creatures, you want to replace them, you can throw in the sideboard. Even thought like Gruesome Menagerie might not be a bad card to put in this sideboard because we have 1, 2s, and 3 drops. However, at this point, I do not have it. We'll get to the sideboard in a second. The second best card after the Siren Stormtamer, well, it probably is the best card in the deck. The whole reason to run tempo at this moment is Kitesail Freebooter. When you are able to protect Kitesail Freebooter on turn number 2, ripping out like a Teferi, ripping out like a Settle the Wreckage, ripping out, what did I do? Find Finality, Ritual of Soot, Vraska. I'm thinking of all the cards that I've ripped out with Kitesail Freebooter right now. And then getting information is key with this deck to know when to hold cards up. Like one of the games is able to Kitesail Freebooter and see 2 Vraska's Contempts. I'm like, okay, well we'll take the since I have the ability to draw into dive downs and other ways to protect it, we'll take the Vraska, and then my opponent did. I knew when to protect. Use the Vraska Contempt on a card that wasn't relevant didn't protect it, and then was able to counter the second one and just tempo my opponent out. So one of the reasons why we're running Pirate 2, this card is incredibly strong. Everyone talks about how good the Wizard version of this is. This one's better, in my opinion, because I think almost everything in Standard gets countered unless they pay 4. 4 is pretty high in this particular meta. So unless the game goes extremely late, the counter target spell, unless they pay 4, is just going to counter a spell. They're not going to have 4 mana to counter anything. Costs 1 less if you control Pirate. No double blue. It's just 1 and a blue, so it's a lot more splashable. And I think this is a very, very potent card. It can counter any spell. It doesn't have to be a non-creature or a creature. Any spell, unless they pay 4. So we're going to run a full 4 ofs in this list. And again, it's going to hopefully, with the 1-drop, 2-drop, or 1-drop into a Lookout Dispersal, can count anything on turn number 2. All right, so another one of the cards that keeps us up in the card advantage, which is an honorary pirate, is the Thief of Sanity. Whenever it connects, you look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's library and exile one of them, and then you can cast them. This is one of our better cards to find a finisher. So most of our opponents are going to have cards like History of Benalia's, Lyra Dawnbringers. I've hit Vivian's, I've hit opposing Nullhide Ferox's, those type of cards. Thief of Sanity's great to chuck out a removal or a threat from our opponent. So other than that, we're just going to run 21 lands. I think 21's right with a deck that literally curves out at 3. It also has a lot of tempo. You're going to be hitting those land drops. Chart of Course can help you find those land drops, and you don't want to be flooded with too much mana. The sideboard, I have some anti-red with Sea Legs. Sea Leg gives you above Lightning Strike with the Kitesail Freebooter. It also can protect against like Moment Cravings. And there are plenty of even options where you can just chuck this on a creature to dumb it down. And I don't know. This is a card I'm testing. It has flash. It's a way to protect. And I think, in theory, this card will see a lot of play in particular matchups, especially the red matchup. 3 Duress, this is more ways to proactively rip out what your opponent's doing, as well as 2 Thought Erasures. This might be overkill with Kitesail Freebooter, but we're going to have a very, very good tempo feel to it. 2 Moments of Craving, mainly for the red and the Boros matchup. 2 Vraska's Contempt, mainly for the Golgari matchup, I think is where you'd want to bring this one in. And 2 Nightveil Predators, they're very good against a vast variety of decks that might have a lot of control, and this is your way to get around that. Flying Death Touch Hexproof. This is a test card. Don't know if I actually do want this to stay in. I even thought about Knight of Malice being in this slot. And I might even think about just Golden Demise needing to be in here for the Boros. Golden Demise is so good right now in the meta. It just completely shuts down a lot of these aggro-based decks. And yeah, so, I mean, a lot of times too, if you're going up against aggro, you can just hold off playing your 1-drops until you swept the board. So that might need to be where this Nightveil Predator is. We'll have to wait and see. The Eldest Reborn is a 2 of, another one we'll bring in versus the grindy matchups. I think it's just a pretty good card. It is a 5-drop with a 21-land deck. That's kind of high, very high, but it's good. We don't have a lot of cards that we use ourselves, but Eldest Reborn, I think, is pretty solid versus the fairy decks if we can actually stick it down. Anyway, that's the gist of it. We'll go ahead and play some games. I think we are just going to queue it up in... Let's just play I'm just going to continue to play the ladder for now. Don't know how much time I have to actually play some games here. So again, one of these days after the holidays, I'm going to get more time. Very, very busy with pre-orders for Ultimate Masters and other things we got going on. I try to serve my patrons pretty well. You can go check out my Patreon at patreon.com/roguedeckbuilder. One of the things, my perks, I'm not about e-begging. I'm actually very against e-begging. I think that if you sign up for a service, you should get something back more than content. I mean, there's plenty of ways to generate revenue just from content alone. What I do is I give back to my patrons. You get distributor pricing. If you are a patron at the $10 or above tier, you get 1 box a month. If you're the $20 or above tier, you have 6 products, and every $5 above 20 gets an additional 6 products. So right now we've completely sold out of Ultimate Masters at people getting them at distributor pricing. So they're saving a ton of money by being a patron. So go check that out. All right, this is a pretty good hand here. We have the Watery Grave that can come into play tapped, and we'll go ahead and do that. We can YOLO a Chart of Course if we want to, or it's probably just going to be Kitesail Freebooter. Boros, huh? Anyway, Spell Pierce. Yeah, I think it's Kitesail Freebooter can rip out like a History of Benalia. I'm all for that. We might just miss here. Hey, look at that. It is a History of Benalia. So takes one of the key cards. My opponent doesn't have a way to get rid of the Kitesail. We do have like a Danto Vanguard that's coming down, and then we have a Benalish Marshal. So we do need to get ahead of our opponent. This is going to be rough. So I'm going to attack in and do some damage. 2 Benelish Marshals is going to be rough, but Thief of Sanity might be able to find opposing Benelish Marshals or History Benalias. Yeah, it's just... Boros is tough because they just get... Dawn of Vanguard just does so much damage and they can protect it. And it's going to be doing, what, 5 damage per turn now? Whoa! I do not agree with that because it's allowing me to come back. I don't know. I don't like this play by my opponent. Not choosing to go the Benelish Marshal. However, we don't have a way to counter it next turn. But if we do, we could be in decent shape. And actually, we do have a cast down that will come down. So I have to decide what the best line of play is. So I'm going to attack with both. Because I don't want my opponent to get back a History Benalia. I'd love to get like a Legion's Landing here. History of Benalia and Heroic Reinforcements. So I'm going to take the History Benalia. And I do believe I need to keep up my cast down for this particular. I could chart a course. We did hit a land drop this turn already. I don't know if I care about the Fathom Fleet Captain. It might just end up wanting to trade with the Sky Marcher Aspirant. Yeah, I think that's... Or we could put out History Benalia. That doesn't trade. That does trade with this Sky Marshal. But we have it for next turn. So I think I want to go Fathom Fleet Captain. And keep up a cast down to take care of one of these Benelish Marshals that's coming down this next turn. And then hopefully the next turn we can hit a land drop and have History Benalia up. So this is going to be tough, though. These Dono Vanguards are going to be rough to deal with. I think I have to make the trade with the Sky Marcher Aspirant here. Which is fine. We're going down to a... $9. However, 1 unknown card left in my opponent's hand. Okay, perfect. So we can leave up like a Spell Pierce. I'm going to go ahead and attack in with both. Hopefully we can get something cool off our opponent that we can just use the chump blocker. And at this point, yeah, we'll just take like a Dauntless Bodyguard to protect our Thief of Sanity. And I do believe at this point we need to put up some blockers. So we're going to go History Benalia. Against our opponent. And a Dauntless Bodyguard, which can also block a Daunto Vanguard. My opponent doesn't have the life really to... Yeah, this is pretty good. And we will protect our Knight token. Yes, our Knight token. Because then we can block and we can keep our Knight token at indestructible. And that way we can attack back in on the other side. So I think we're in very, very good shape. We have a Spell Pierce. Alright, can't deal with that. Still, though, we're in very, very, very good shape. 1 mana, if this is a Legion's Landing, we can counter it with a Spell Pierce. And that'll be very good. Conclave Tribunal, we can counter that. Awesome Possum. I think that's game. My opponent did not decide to attack in. We have another one coming down. The Spell Pierce gets the Conclave Tribunal. And no attacks here. So we have a Chart of Course to fill us back up. We have a Thief of Sanity to... we have, 3 blockers back. So combat, we're going to attack with Thief and Kitesail Freebooter. It's going to find us some more cards with our opponent. Opponent didn't have the worst hand either. Benelish Marshal, of course, would be the play here. 3 Benelish Marshals and 11 cards, huh? We'll chart just to try to hit a land drop or some more information. Draws us 2 cards. Yep, we'll Benelish Marshal here. And there should be a Scoopy. Nope, no scoop by my opponent. So my opponent can't afford the Dono Vanguards. We still have the the Benelish Marshals that can block everything. Knight of Grace is not a threat. Opponent should be attacking with everything, but... So we're going to go ahead and block with the... Which one does this one have? Okay, so block here, and block... Whoa! Stop doing that, Arena. Arena moving things around. So 3 blockers. And my opponent's just going to let the damage go through. Sure, we'll let the damage go through too as well, because we have lethal on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, we actually do need to sacrifice this. To give it indestructible. Perfect. Alrighty, so on the backswing here, now we're okay. Now we can attack in. My opponent has 1 blocker, and yeah, we take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly. Alrighty, so that was a quick win with the Pirates. The Pirates. And we get 25 coins with Arena. Stockpiling the coins now, because Guilds of Ravnica is the only option to draft with coins at the moment, which is awful. Do not spend your coins, though, on packs either. What you should do is wait for a... I think Core 2019 is coming out next, and so if I can stockpile like 15,000 coins for that, that's 3 drafts I can do. So it's all about kind of money management with Arena. You don't have to spend money with this game. I had a patron of mine want me to build and test a deck. Donated $100 to my Arena account, and then I initially spent $100 clear back in the day just to see what it would get me. So we have a Stormtamer we can put out here. And so, again, I have put some money into an Arena, not since closed beta, and it... Pretty much now, I don't think I'll ever have to spend money again on Arena, unless I want new sets like immediately. But I think I'm going to stockpile for those. So, Curious Obsession here. This, of course, is one of the more powerful draws. As I get to draw cards, the Curious Obsession has replaced itself, and a Ruin Raider is going to help me with... Definitely help me with card advantage as well. Mono Green can be one of the more tough matches because it's just... They start getting some biggies out, and a lot of them you can't block. This is interesting. I don't know if I need to Spell Pierce or not. I think I want to go more of the tempo route. So I'm going to go ahead and attack in. And I could get punished for that because I have no clue what I'm going up against. I don't know what my opponent is doing. But, I mean, this drew us another card. This is going to draw us one more card. Awesome. Doesn't even hit us. This could be a Nullhide Ferox, which would be rough. If it is, I need to find a cast down as quickly as possible. Eldest Reborn is pretty good against this. You bring in all the removal versus mono green. It's a Marwyn the Nurturer. Interesting. And a Pelt Collector. So we will be most likely attacking with both. Unfortunately, we get yet another. So I'm just going to attack in with both of them. I need to hit this tempo. This is the Elf Ball. I do have evasive cards. I could see Marwyn just trying to trade. Does not. So opponent is down to an 11. And we get a Lookout's Dispersal, which is actually going to be pretty potent. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put out a island and another Stormtamer, and I'm just going to pass the turn up. See, the thing is Marwyn can add a ton of mana. And we get another dive down. We lose a life for that. We do have, decent tempo if we can find another Siren Stormtamer or a Thief. Marwyn can add what? The power? So Marwyn can add 3 mana, or 2 mana. We have 6 mana available for my opponent. I hope it's something big. I hope my opponent tries to cast a Galta here. And we do also have access to a dive down. So another Druid of the Cowl. 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's fine. Unfortunately, that pumps up Marwyn. Steel Leaf Champion. 1, 2. So we can look out Dispersals that because my opponent only has 2. Goodbye, Steel Leaf. I think that was the pivotal play. Cast down cannot hit Marwyn. We could hit a Druid, but I think we'll just take care of another. So I'm going to attack in with all again because it's fine. I don't care about being double blocked. In fact, I'll probably just... Okay, yep, I'll dumb down the mana. So we will go dive down. Get another Watery Grave. Do we need it to come into play untapped? Yes, we do. Because I want to be able to have Spell Pierce dive down, and I guess I didn't need to do that. Hopefully that 2 life does not end up biting me here. We get another cast down. That's actually pretty good, as it can deal with whatever Marwyn tries to put out. And Marwyn definitely does put out. Look at the baby on Marwyn's chest. Beast Whisper is a card that I absolutely need to take care of. Unfortunately, my opponent has priority here. Oh no, my opponent loses priority because of the trigger. Awesome. So, Collector gets a counter. And does not get a counter, though, from that. My opponent only has 3 mana available. Maybe I should have busted out my... that can happen as well. And we'll kill it after the fact. Marwyn is getting huge. Yeah, that is risky to be attacking in with the Pelt Collector. Because... now... no blockers. We have a Stormtamer, so I'm just going to go ahead and attack in with just these 2 because it puts my opponent at 2. I don't have a way to... I need a blocker. Unfortunately, Marwyn can generate a bazillion mana. And we find a Curious Obsession after the fact. So, we'll play Siren Stormtamer here. We have Spell Pierce dive down, so I can just chart a course here. Do I want to chart a course here? Sure. Thief of Sanity. So dive down, chart a course, Curious Obsession, will Watery Grave into play tapped, and then pass a turn. I have a hard time seeing my opponent come back from this. Man, I've been impressed with this Ruin Raider, though, with a low land count. Need a block. The one card that can get us is like the Trample. If our opponent can give Trample, and we do have 1 Spell Pierce and 1 dive down, though. Rejuvenator I don't care about. That's going to actually be net down mana. So that's fine. And I'm thinking my opponent wants to be attacking in with Marwyn anyway. So out of mana except 1. A Prey Upon would be like the 1 card my opponent needs. Vanquisher's Banner. Yep, we can Spell Pierce that unless they pay 2. No. I would have to tap this. Have to tap the Druid. So my opponent will be completely out of mana. That's why I'm doing it. So I believe my opponent's dead here. Yep. Opponent scoops it up. Yeah, so they'd have to tap the Druid. I don't know if there would be a way out of it anyway. This would go up to a 5 and a 2. Yeah, and then I have the Curious Obsessions to throw on my flyers anyway, so we're 2-0 with it. I'm going to play another one. We should have played this in a league. It's actually doing pretty good. All right. So we'll play another one while we're having fun. So far, so good. Again, we're not showcasing anything with a sideboard at the moment. What else does blue have access to? I guess we have the card that can return all creatures to their opponent's hand. That'd be a decent one. I wonder if Connive Concoct would be pretty good too. No, it's just that's high on the mana cost. I do like just the Surveil 2 draw card because when you get up to 5 mana, it's a very potent card, especially in a tempo list. But that's definitely an option. I wonder if that's just better than Chart a Course. Maybe a 2-2 split. We'll have to see. I'll go ahead and Watery Grave into play tap. Hey, this will be our challenge. Would be red. Red is definitely a challenge. We have a Spell Pierce, but if there's a Viashino here, a Runaway Steamkin, yeah, it's actually more powerful. So I am going to probably just do this other land into play tap because there's nothing else I can do with the mana. Yeah, this Runaway Steamkin is going to be an issue. We need to cast down as quickly as possible. Shock. Sure. You're going to want that shock back when I Thief of Sanity. And might as well save 2 life. Double shock out of the way. Hopefully my Thief of Sanity can actually get there. I might wait a turn. Never mind, my opponent's just going to shock. Do they have any more removal? If so, that's just retarded with Runaway Steamkin. Oh, no, it's not now. Now we're in great shape. We'll wait a turn. So my opponent thinks I'm a control list. And I'm just going to use that right now before they can get mana. And then we have Thief of Sanity we can actually protect. And I believe we're just going to ride this to victory. My opponent's used 3 shocks. And a Lightning Strike, of course. Because why wouldn't you have 3 shocks and a Lightning Strike and 3 lands? Alright, Steamkin. So 4 shock. There is not. Now this should hopefully find me a card for my opponent that can take care of the Steamkin. Does indeed find a Wizard's Lightning, which we will shoot off. And well as Chart a Course. Maybe I should have played that differently, because then my Thief can die, and then we're kind of off to the races. Of course, it's a Rekindling Phoenix with the last card in hand. That might be the... Ay. That's rough. So... Man, that's rough. So now we get a counter spell. Well, let's go ahead and Kitesail Freebooter. Hopefully get that last card out of my opponent's hand. It's probably going to be another... Oh, wow, that's a huge one to get. That was a huge card. We counter anything. My opponent should not be attacking in. Knowing my opponent, they will attack in. Because they're a red deck. Legion War Boss. Yeah, that needs to be countered. Oh, my opponent leaves it back. So I have a option here. Curious Obsession on Kitesail Freebooter. We dive down whichever one it doesn't hit. I think that's actually good. So you put Curious Obsession on the Thief of Sanity. No. We definitely want it on the Kitesail Freebooter. Because we want one of these to hit. So we will protect the Thief. So we can draw a card. And, I mean, it's fine. Unfortunately, though, we're at the mercy of our opponent's top deck. And so far, my opponent is, like, the best top decker the world has ever seen. With the land for Rekindling Phoenix on the turn before. Steamkin, this one's actually not that relevant. Unfortunately, now is where we lose. So the Thief of Sanity dies. I need a way to get rid of this Rekindling Phoenix. Oh boy. Well then. We will just flood out here. As my opponent hits 4 lands and 18 cards, huh? Oh, there's the 5th. Still decides not to tack in. What is with this nonsense? Well, we're going to flood out. Goodbye, Curious Obsession. You've been good here. Opponent does hit their other land. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, I shouldn't be playing these lands, but we are definitely flooded. We even have one in the graveyard. Cast down is not where we want to be yet. Yeah, we're done. We're done for. Because now my opponent's going to put another... The only reason I think they had attacks was another Rekindling Phoenix in hand. Yup. Yup, yup. Deadeye Tracker's absolutely not going to do anything. We have to start blocking with our Siren Stormtamers. Get you Lava Runner, huh? Oh boy. That was a pretty bad attack in my opinion. Should be attacking with more. I mean, it is my way my opponent gets back in this. Alright, so these are definitely the games you lose. Womp, womp, womp. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Cool, so we have 10 lands and 35 cards. What a lovely game. So my opponent's going to attack with everything, so we need to block here, and go to 1. Can't get my opponent get back to Experimental Frenzy. And I don't believe there's any way I can get out of this. Graveyard of Spell Pairs. That would have been nice if I would have got my Explore card a lot earlier, too, because it would have got me out of this nonsense. And we'll just... Alright, whatever, Arena. We get it. We get it. You just want to flood. We get it. Jeez. I felt really good with that start. I mean, our opponent was so indiscriminate with those shocks, played horribly. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can play around when you draw all but 9 lands. Cool. And we weren't even through half our library yet. So, let's go ahead and play one more. Maybe we'll get the same person. That's definitely the matchup where Vraska's Contempt comes in. That the game is over without a Rekindling Phoenix. We would have been able to tempo him out. I don't know. Maybe I could have kept playing. No, I don't think there's any way I could have played that differently. What needed to happen is we needed something out to give us some card advantage earlier, and not draw into. Was it 13 lands we had there? Crazy. All right, this is a pretty terrible hand, but we're gonna keep it. We do have some decent little outs here. It's a lot better when you have blue. So it is the same person. Is it the same person? There's a blue, but we didn't want it. All right, Arena. We have 17 lands now. 17 out of 52. All right, it's very low. That's a low percentage to be drawing lands. We should draw one in the next 3, but not 3 in the next 3. Capiche? I think actually getting the Fathom fleet out here is better than the Kitesail Freebooter. No, it also dies to the... Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I'm pretty much screwed to a Goblin. Let's see if a Chain Rose out here gives me more information. This Kitesail Freebooter will probably die, but it'll take a removal spell. I mean, best case scenario, my opponent just kills the Siren Stormtamer with a shock here. Wizard Lightning Shock. Opponent's got to kill it this turn, otherwise yeah, that's fine. We still get information from our opponent. Lightning Strike and Wizard Lightning. Cool. All right. Wow. And a Chain Whirler. Yeah, this one's GG. This is going to be the tough matchup is Mono Red. The good news is Mono Red is one of the worst decks to be running right now because it has horrible, horrible, horrible matchups in the meta. So both Boros and I would say the Golgari decks are super good versus Mono Red. All right, so I'm glad my opponent ended up going that route because now we can... I'm going to try to bait out Fathom Fleet Captain to hitting a removal spell. And... no, I need the Freebooter. Or do I? Curious Session will be good if I can get back with the Freebooter. Yeah, we need to bait out... I need to bait out some removal. Unfortunately, my opponent is not so far... okay, it does have 4 lands. Hopefully it's not an Ashcloud Phoenix again. Another removal spell. Unfortunately. So double removal spell left in my opponent's hand. I can't get this Curious Obsession hooked up. Down to a 13. I'm surprised my opponent just didn't shoot off to do an extra damage. Okay, cool. This is actually really good. My opponent decided just to chuck that out. Still don't think I'm going to win this, though. Gotta play another one, unfortunately. We're out of cards. I need my opponent just to top deck a land. Not a... Our Lava Runner is no, that hurts. That's haste. So I don't think we need like a cast down here, and then we still go down to a 2. And that was not a cast down. That was a land. So we need our opponent to draw a land there. I have to attack here to find a cast down or a blocker. And that is not going to do it. That is game. So there's our hole. Our hole is definitely mono red. Possibly put more Moment Cravings in the sideboard. But again, I don't expect to be... well, I actually do expect to be running up against mono red a lot because players are bad and it doesn't... like, no one metagames on Arena. They pick a deck and they stick with it. That's kind of the problem with the wildcard system is once you've redeemed your wildcards, especially if you're a free-to-play person, there's no option for you to change in other decks. So, I don't know. To avoid mono red, possibly out of this just quick play... we're going to give it a sec. We'll play it again. If it ends up being another mono red deck, it ends up being another mono red deck. But like I said, it's just that matchup is so miserable when you go up against mono white. And mono white just won the Pro Tour and had, what, 6 in the top 8? So I usually don't expect running up against mono red that often. But man, lately I have been. Maybe they are adjusting. Golgari too. Golgari midrange does incredibly well versus mono red. It's the same person. Yuck. Right? Isn't that the Shadow Polo? I'm pretty sure it's the same person. Start with a Spell Pierceable. Nope. Okay, so... okay, I played this person before. I think this was the... I'm going to Kitesail Freebooter here, try to rip out a Fine Finality. Or Vraska. So we have Merfolk Branchwalker, Jaylight, Ravenous Choop. So I need to hold up the Essence Scatter for Ravenous Choop, but we have time. So yes, I played the Shadow Polo earlier today. It was one of the Golgari matchups. That's why the name rings a bell. Merfolk Branchwalker finds a Jaylight Ranger. So we could get tempoed out here, but I think this is just a great time to throw the Thief of Sanity out. And then my opponent will have a Jaylight Ranger. We're going to take some damage here. That's one of the things with this Explore deck is it can go kind of crazy with... I don't know, my opponent's got a weird option. I still think it is... yeah, okay, never mind. It had a woodland there. Oh, that was a woodland. I was thinking that was the comes into play tap land. see where Vraska is going to go. My opponent's going to keep Vraska on top, which is kind of dumb because now my opponent just gave me a Vraska. So, and did not attack with the Merfolk Branchwalker. Well, thank you, opponent. That was very kind of you to give me a Vraska, as well as, ooh, a Temple Garden and an Isolated Chapel. That's double white mana my opponent will not be able to get. And now we get to counterspell the Ravenous Chupacabra, which is going to come down. As well as most likely cast down the Jadelight Ranger. Opponent should have attacked the Branchwalker. I'd be down less, but going to take the 3 here. And at this point, I'd like to keep up another Essence Scatter. Well, first, of course, we'll see what our opponent's cards give us. I'm going to take this Choop. And I still think we keep up our counter magic. We can counterspell a Jadelight. Or cast down it. Either one's fine. We'll Essence Scatter it. Yeah, because then we can cast down the Merfolk Branchwalker. Pretty sure my opponent is just going to scoop. No, that's a Thorn Lieutenant out, which is fine. And there's the scoop. We have Ravenous Choop. We do 3 more damage, find more cards. It's kind of the power of protecting a Thief of Sanity. All right, so I think that's a little bit... we'll play one more. Let's play one more for everyone. So far, what is this? 3 and 2 with in this the solo queue. Again, so cast down might want to be Moment Craving. I don't know. It's weird. It's definitely a tricky situation at the moment. Moment Craving would be the key card to get us ahead of the mono red. But I think you actually do have game versus mono red if we get Deadweight too. Deadweight wouldn't be bad. So I'm actually going to keep this hand. It's kind of weird, but we do have the first turn Island into Stormtamer. And probably pretty bad now. We do get a... Do I want to protect my Stormtamer? Weird. I don't have another card coming up. I think I need to protect it. I think I need to protect it. I might actually not be able to protect it from a shock. If it's a shock, I can't protect it. Also, if it's a... Yeah. I ended up making the wrong play, and that might cost me. Chain Whirler's still really good. Get the Flame of Keldo. Now my opponent's out of everything. All right. We are in good shape. We're still going to try to protect my Kitesail Freebooter. Actually, no. That's probably bad. Yes, that's actually good because there is no wizard. Whoo! We look out and it's a Wizard's Lightning. We're taking 3. But now we can just tempo it out. Hopefully we can get there. So, we will Curious Obsession. Find another Spell Pierce, which is actually pretty bad now. Yeah, these probably need to be... I don't know. Probably need to be sideboard. Do we need to worry about an Essence Scatter? Yeah. I'd like to Essence Scatter something else that could come out. I mean, their ace is definitely on. It's rough, though. We don't have a lot of things we can. Oh, that was not a card I wanted to draw, of course. We do not flood out. We kept a 1-lander. We've drawn all lands, right? I believe? No, we've drawn 1 Spell Pierce and the rest have been lands. So we have a Kitesail Freebooter. We will throw it out. See what it's booting. Shock. Shocks me, huh? Yeah, that's fine. 3 damage to my face. Kitesail can block the Chain Whirler for a turn. I cannot chart a course again. That's fine. Spells, spells, and more spells. Lava Coil. Womp womp. That is going to be game, unfortunately. Finds a Lava Coil. And the Spell Pierce cannot stop the Lava Coil. Yeah, Mono Red's tough. You can't beat Mono Red. Not sure why my opponent did not run out. Yeah. So I want to keep up Essence Scatter again. I'm just going to chart a course, get rid of ooh. Get rid of an Essence Scatter. We have a cast down. We might be in okay shape. No, we're not. We're going to take damage here. Oh my. Top deck's into a shock. Wow. Okay, and we're perfectly dead here. Oh, shocked me! Shocked me! Why did my opponent shock me? Right? Oh yeah, because it just gets me around this though. I mean, I'm not dead now. I can counter whatever my opponent puts out. My opponent's drawing some cards. Shouldn't have gone that chart, of course. Pretty sure I'm dead here, though, from the Flame of Keld coming back. But you never know. They could run out of stuff. We still have a long ways to go, though, with these. Runaway Steamkin gets Essence Scattered. And Runaway Steamkin, that one's fine, unfortunately. Oh, boy. Maybe Vraska's Contempt need to be in the main. Unfortunately, things do extra damage this turn. So even with casting 2 spells, I just lose. Wow. Just decides not to run it out. And if anything can get us back in, it's this obsession of the curiosity. Never mind. I think we're just dead. We're dead to any spell. Yeah, this still kills us. It's perfectly lethal. Womp womp. Yeah. All right. Well, the jury is out. Absolutely do not run this in the solo queue. There are too many mono reds. It's too easy of a deck to run. I definitely think this has some more merit going up. It's like, I'd like to see it versus Teferi. So basically today that makes it 6-3 that I played, or 7-3. I've played this deck 10 times today. 7-3 of the deck, 3 mono red decks that have, so it's the exact same deck that's beat this every time. Let's play one more. We'll play one more game with this, and hopefully we don't run into mono red. Mono red has got some pretty decent draws, even though those weren't the best of draws. Yeah, even if our opponent's playing like not very good Magic, they're still beating us. So that's a bad sign. Or maybe you can make the argument I'm not playing very good Magic, and that's why I'm losing. Whatever. Okay, so we'll keep this. We have a first turn Deadeye Tracker. Our opponent mulligans. And yeah, I think I want to go down a Spell Pierce. Maybe add some more. I understand, like, protecting. Ugh. Good God, every game. Yeah, this is the solo queues for you now. Just all mono red. Whatever he plays, we're going to counter it. Essence Scatter. going to Freebooter. And I'm going to see Goblin Electromancer and kick myself after this. Shock is the appropriate one to get rid of. So now we're in decent shape. I'm not going to be... Yeah, we'll attack in here because I'm not going to be blocking or anything. So get in for some damage. Spell Pierce does get the Lightning Strike, but it does not even pump up my Lava Runner, so we are in great shape here. Just pass the turn, unfortunately. And we might actually get revenge on this mono red. Wizard's Lightning. We will look out Dispersal it. But unfortunately, the Viashino gets to hit. Ay, ay, ay. And the Lava Runner gets to come in, too. So, I think it's a rule that red never gets more than 3. Unfortunately, I have to attack with this Kitesail so I can chart a course. Because I want both of these cards. And we do find a land. So I can Essence Scatter something, or I can Deadeye Tracker and trade. I could just Deadeye Tracker with the Viashino here and then keep up. I think that's fine. No, I'm going to take the damage. So we're down to 11. I don't know if that's the right play. It's just a land. And I'm gonna hopefully do this. I guess I could have done that in response. It was a risk factor. We're actually graveyard the chart. Dive down's great here. Spell Pierce on the risk factor is great here. Yep, we just passed the turn. No, I need to get this Thief established. Is that another risk factor? Like, another top? That's not coming from the... I give up. I give up with these red decks. This is ridiculous. Here I do need to... Oh, my good God. I mean, no, I have to let this go through. I've got to go to a 3, right? This is ridiculous. Then I die to a Lightning Strike. So I think I have to make a trade, the Thief of Sanity, for a card here. Because I can't give this back. I can't give a shock back. This is absolutely ridiculous. Pyromancer, I think I'll make the trade with. Stupid. Alright, so let's see if my opponent can go another risk factor. This point we can just pass the turn. Oh, Jesus Christ, I forgot to exile these stupid... That was my bad. I should have exiled right then and there. Oh, I can look out Dispersal it. Nope, that's fine. Yep, and get a... Yep, never mind, that's fine. Get your Lava Runner out of the way. Yeah, that worked out. That worked out. Now the risk factor goes away. Get out of here. And can't do another spell, so let's do a Pyromancer. Oh, man. Ugh. I'm going to graveyard it, just because I don't think I need it. So I need to avoid another risk factor. This game is stupid. I'm done. I'm absolutely done with this crap. What a dumb game. On the format. Ay, ay, ay. Stupid. See if my opponent can top deck another risk factor. Oh, at least we get rid of this stupid thing. Maybe my opponent will draw some lands eventually, too. Yeah, we're drawing lands. That one's actually pretty good, though. All right, that's good. Now we can get up in tempo. Okay, what you got? Double spell just kills me. Chain Whirler does not do anything, that's fine. Gets it closer to where my opponent needs, though. Running out of cards to get rid of here. Found a land off the top, that's where we want to be, though. Combat, attack, these two need to come in to find us something from my opponent's library that's relevant. This also puts cards in the graveyard. Another Deadeye Tracker. Goblin Chain Whirler, huh? Ay. Found my opponent. There's the lands that I found for my opponent. Chain Whirler's fine. We'll run it out. Yeah. Still, though, dead to two burn spells. Goblin Banneret's fine. Not too worried about that. Goblin Chain Whirler is something I can protect this Deadeye Tracker with. That's fine. Down to a... I'm just dead to a lightning strike now, though, is the thing. And I draw another land. Can I get a counterspell? I need a counterspell. And that is not what I wanted. Shock is not what I wanted. And I'm dead to a lightning strike because I didn't find one. Oh boy. Here comes the lightning strike off the top for my opponent. Ay. Because I found all the lands. Yep. Here it comes. Wizard Lightning. Experimental Frenzy. That's still pretty bad. Still pretty bad. Because now I can still find Torch Curse. Oh, yeah, that doesn't work. Woohoo! Found another land, though. So can still go Wizard's Lightning with land off the top. Still not a lot of... Yeah, my opponent's at 50% land. So going to attack, so I'm going to shock the Banneret, sure. So Deadeye Tracker. Graveyard that. We hit a swamp and another swamp. Oh boy. So it doesn't even go up. I have to attack with everything, right? I gotta go for it now this game, this turn. I don't even care. We're gonna pay the 2. Doesn't come in tapped attacking. Unfortunately. The Chain Whirler, those are kind of okay. That's just lethal anyway, okay. Yep. Whew, we got to get extremely lucky versus the... I mean, the Experimental Frenzies, though, were crazy. 3 of them off the top. We are done with Mono Red. We take a match versus Mono Red. Still puts us pretty dismal. I am done with the solo queues. I'm just going to queue up with lifelink.deck if this is how it's going to be. I don't know. The deck that I still does really well against mono, I'll show you. We'll open the pack too for funsies. You can go back on my channel, Response Resurgence. I have a bazillion of those already. If we go back on my channel through Gruesome Zombies, this deck does insanely good versus mono red, and it's mainly because of Creeping Chill. Creeping Chill ends up being a free card you cast off of like a Stitcher Supplier in a graveyard or a Glowspore Shaman, and then you can, if you just stall for a few turns to get to a Gruesome Menagerie, and the Creeping Chill will get you back in it, and then Liliana starts getting you life as well. And if they want to go, tick for tat where they attack in, you can actually swing back in. Midnight Reapers, Molder Hulks get huge, or excuse me, the Death Barons, they start getting things big. And it's a pretty easy matchup in my opinion, but that's a good one to on the solo queue. Fortunately, every time I do that, if I queue up with this though, I get like Boros Angels, which is really, really tough for zombies to beat. It's good versus Boros aggro, and it's good versus it's actually good versus green black Explorer, and it's decent versus Teferi. But Boros Angels is like impossible. However, I thought this deck was fun, this Pirates deck. Definitely interested in some upgrades to the deck possibly, or if I'm playing a card that you disagree with, definitely tell me in the comment section below. This has been Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder. Thanks for watching.